you like that, Tim?
That's pretty catchy theme music. Love it.
Welcome everyone to Sysco Canada's virtual kitchen show. I'm just giggling because Tim just loves our intro music. It takes a long time, Tim. But anyways, welcome everyone. I'm Jay Ashton. I'm your business resources and brand activation manager for Sysco Canada. And today we have McCormick Canada back in the house, and we're very excited to see some amazing ideas. And really, you know, as we see the restrictions of what's happening right now in Ontario, we saw this in Montreal, Ottawa, the Peel regions, we really see that a lot of places are going to have to navigate to takeout and delivery and third-party deliveries. And how do you really build up the value of your dishes to stand out more than anything? And I really believe of what McCormick's going to show today, and I'm just floored on they've taken it on to really help you elevate your value of what you're going to do in your takeout. So I'm going to send it over to Tim and Chef, and let's talk a little bit about what we're going to see today. And I'm going to remove this so we can see your beautiful faces. There you go.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Hey, Chef.
Yeah, no, thanks, Jay. We're excited again to be here a second time, adding some value to the customers out there in these difficult times. So last time we featured some of our new innovation products. This session is all about Franks. So Franks, North America's #1 hot sauce, and not just for any reason, really beautiful product. And what we'll show you throughout this session is how easy it is to spice up your fall menu and add some layers of flavor to anything from traditional dishes to, again, we're bringing in a cocktail, some desserts, some sandwiches, salads, and it's all about upping the ante and making either your takeout dishes, or if you still have the ability to have customers come in or enjoy food on the patio, if you got some heaters going to extend that season, we will elevate the items for you. So what I want to start off with, just like we did last time we were on the show, is really showing you off a couple of easy ways to add an exciting layer of flavor to very common items that you already have in your pantry. So what I did here is just mixed in some of our Franks RedHot original sauce with staple items. In this case, this is a Caesar dressing, right? So it's a cup of Caesar dressing, and just use whatever you have in your pantry. Add a 1/4 cup of Franks RedHot original sauce to it, and you have yourself a spiced Caesar dressing. I did the same one with blue cheese. So whatever blue cheese you have in your pantry, same ratio, a cup of blue cheese, 1/4 cup of Franks RedHot original, and you have your spiced up blue cheese dip, perfect as a side for wings. We also did an aioli, so a cup of mayonnaise, 1/4 cup of the Franks RedHot original, and this is perfect, on burgers, sandwiches, wraps, as a dip. And the last one is ranch, right? So this is a buffalo ranch. So for this one, I used a cup of ranch dressing and a 1/4 cup of the Franks RedHot buffalo sauce. So the difference between the original and the buffalo sauce is that the buffalo has a component of butter mixed into that.
That sounds delicious.
I was going to say, now I know why I love the buffalo one more.
Yeah.
Right.
And that application too, I mean, those are surefire winners that Chef just put forward on those 4. But there's lots of ingredients in your pantry, lots of ingredients in your fridge. And we just encourage you to get creative with Franks. And I'm sure you will find something that works just for you.
Hey, Tim, have we seen an increase in demand for Franks or for hot sauces incorporated into dishes like that over the last few years?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I think one of the stats I saw that was like 47% of patrons crave spicy flavor, and that's fairly recent Technomic data that we've got. But on the rise, heat's on the rise big time. Frank's the Canada's #1 hot sauce for a reason. It's simple, proprietary method, cayenne peppers, and it's a real simple but delicious hot sauce. Yeah. So I mean, and the whole category is on the rise, so it's pretty exciting. Heat's in.
Cool. Very cool. Sorry, Chef, back to you.
I like that. Absolutely. So next up, what I wanted to show you is like, okay, taking an existing item that you currently have on your menu or that's very easy to bring in, and again, adding a twist on there. So what I've prepared here today is a classic hummus. Whether you make this from scratch yourself or whether you bring in a ready prepared product, doesn't matter. All you do is just add a splash of Franks RedHot Sauce to it. And not only are you getting a nice, red hue to it, it just adds a little bit of flavor, where you get that kick from the red hot sauce in the back. Now, to build this dish out even more, what I've done is I've got some pita pieces here and some chips. And I actually added some of our Franks RedHot seasoning to this. So this is the exact same flavor profile as the Red Hot original sauce. It's just in a dry format. So again, whether you make your nachos from scratch, just pull them out of the oven and toss them with the seasoning, and it just adds that extra flavor to it. So we're going to put this one over the pan. And then, because of the world that we live in today, it's all about takeout. So what I wanted to show you is how easy it is to really, take those same dishes, but apply it to takeout. For me, what's important is that everything is packed separately. So this way, you want to make sure that it arrives in one piece at your house or at your final destination. So what I've done, just a nice container of the hummus, chopped it off with some sesame seeds, a little sprinkle of red hot sauce in there, and then we've got the chips and the nachos or the pitas on the side, and then I got just some green onions and a little bit of oil just in a separate container here. So as soon as you get home, you can just finish that off and make it look as good as it would in a restaurant setting.
Very cool. So really, Chef, you're taking a really traditional menu option and really enhancing it, and it really speaks to the fall and winter that is upon us. In some provinces, we saw snow this morning. I'm not going to point fingers, but it's a great way of just elevating that dollar value or that value in that dish by adding something so simple to it and giving yourself something different. Like when you advertise it, you can really advertise that, right? Like you can use the Franks RedHot sauce in your description on your menu item, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We encourage it, actually. I mean, it really does. I mean, #1 hot sauce in Canada. You should be proud to have that on your menu.
Yeah, and what a great way to use that amazing brand to elevate a traditional menu that a lot of people may have on their takeout menu. It just gives it a step apart.
It's really cool for people that they have Franks in their fridge at home or in their cupboard, and they take it out and they put it on their eggs. But there's some applications here that you're going to get from restaurants that you can even make at home yourself. So just lots of really cool ways to incorporate Franks.
Awesome, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so next up, I have this really cool dish that it's been very popular lately. You see popping up everywhere, breakfast places, lunch places, like even for dinners. It's avocado toast. So that on its own is nothing new, but very trendy, very healthy. But we'll put a twist on there. So, whether you use like fresh whole avocados or you bring in a prepared guacamole, it doesn't matter. What we're going to do is we're going to frank it up. So, add a guacamole. This is our frankamole, and basically you just use whatever recipe you're used to, and just add a little bit of the Franks RedHot Sauce to this. Mix that up. And this is your frankamole. So, what I'm going to do is just, build it traditional way. So we got a nice big piece of toasted multi-grain bread, grilled, a couple char marks on there. Top it off with our guacamole. Then I've got some fresh, buffalo mozzarella here. Just layer that on. And then for extra kick, we're going to drizzle some of our Franks RedHot buffalo sauce. And this is the buffalo sandwich sauce. So the viscosity on it is a little bit thicker, which means that it is not as runny, and it actually stays beautifully on the plate and the dish. A couple of sesame seeds, and then just a couple of sprigs of fresh cilantro. And this is your traditional avocado toast, but gassed up.
And using your favorite there, Jay, the buffalo, Frank's buffalo.
I know, it is awesome. So, Chef, here's the challenge. How's that toast not come like a soggy sock to my house?
You know what? I mean, you're spot on. That's why this is our takeout version here. And, with anything for takeout, there's a little bit of assembly required, which is okay. Because you know what? I'd rather, assemble a couple things back at home or at the office or wherever I'm going to enjoy this and have a really good experience than having something that's ready to eat, but, might be soggy or, not up to par. So as you can see, what we've done is we've packed all of the ingredients here separately. So we've got our toasted multi-grain bread. We've got our container with our frankamole in there, some fresh cilantro, the buffalo cheese, some sesame seeds, and a little bit of the Frank's RedHot buffalo sandwich sauce. Now, you can portion that off yourself and put it in a little solo cup with a lid on it. Or if you want, we also supply these portion packs. So just throw a couple of those in there, and this is your takeout kit. And it's perfect every single time.
So here's a couple things I like about this, Chef. I want to talk about a little bit, and Tim, jump in here. But I do really like to. So here's what I would do. I'm just going to mention what I would do. Not saying that I know the right answers, but I love that idea. But I'd have a recipe card inside that container or on the top inside the tinfoil, just on the edge there, with the recipe on how to put it together, with your brand on it, right? And a nice recipe card. Now, I've heard some people also on the back side of those cards are putting pictures of the chefs in the kitchens, where it shows these are the people that cooked it for you, right? So it's almost like a hockey card, I'm going to say, in a way,
Cool.
and your recipe on the one side. And I think it's kind of cool in a sense, because I don't think people are going to toss out those recipe cards as much as maybe we think. And if you can get your brand of your restaurant inside that consumer's kitchen or house, and it's sitting on the counter, or they put them up on the fridge, or they just keep it, you've now extended your brand lift inside that restaurant, or inside that home, of that restaurant. And I think that's huge. I think that's huge because you're subconsciously seeing that brand over and over again. They're going to think of you just for takeout and ordering again from you. And that is probably one of the most difficult things right now for restaurants to understand, the competitiveness to get their brands to sit on that kitchen or get on that fridge in today's world. I think it's huge.
You know what? I love everything about that idea. I would actually trade out a picture of myself for a picture of the finished dish, but just me personally.
I wouldn't go that don't get crazy, Chef. Let's not
don't go crazy on us.
No. But you're dead on. I think it's those. Sorry, just one last thing on Jay's point. I think right now it's those little touches, right, Jay? It's those little things that distinguish one operator from another operator.
Yes.
And that's. I'll take that as a takeaway because that's a really neat idea. Could be something definitely worth pursuing. So thanks for that. Sorry, back to you, Chef.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love this discussion, and I think you guys are definitely onto something. I'm onto something that's more around comfort food. This is a sauce that we have in our Franks RedHot lineup that I'm a big fan of. It's the stinging honey garlic, and I refer to this as the honey garlic sauce for grown-ups. So it's essentially a traditional honey garlic profile. A little bit of that soy note, the sweetness from the honey, some garlic in there, but then towards the end you get that kick from Franks RedHot Sauce that's blended with this. So for me, one of the most perfect sandwiches to do with this sauce is kind of a play on a chicken waffle. So what we've done here, and again, all built is kind of two ways. Just got like our traditional Belgian waffles, right? So just toast them up, throw them in the oven. Then we've got some fried chicken, and you can either make this from scratch or just bring it in. We're going to toss that with the stinging honey garlic sauce, and then it's just a matter of building the sandwich. So we've got a couple of our fried chicken tenders, and then what I want to do is I've got this amazing kind of southern slaw. So to me, chicken and waffles, fried chicken, right? It really has that southern spin on it. So this is basically some shredded collard greens, some chard, a couple of red onions to really, play on that southern style. Then, just top it off. Got a couple of picks, and this is our stinging honey garlic sandwich. Look at that bad boy. I'll put it underneath the other camera. And, similar as with the other dishes, this is what it would look like in a takeout format. So we've got our bugs, we've got our toasted waffles in here, we've got our fried chicken. So if you want, you can put a little piece of parchment paper on there. Then the sauce is on the side as well as the slaw. I would suggest even ship it with a couple of these picks in there so that people can go home and assemble the sandwich themselves.
And with that sauce too, Chef, that just takes so much time out of it. Like when you have everything in that bottle, you have the sweet, you have the heat. A lot of people would try and make their own sauce in-house, which takes time and ingredients, but everything's all in one. It couldn't be any easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're them right on that one. One of my fan favorites. Staying through our kind of comfort foods. What I want to show you guys next, this is really a fun play on the traditional poutine, right? So everyone's familiar with the poutine. Instead of fries, I'm actually using tater tots, right? So they just come straight out of the fryer. And then again, adding an extra layer of flavor to this. I'm gonna top that off with the Franks RedHot dry seasoning. Give that like a little bit of a toss. And you want to do this the moment they come out the fryer, right? So there's still a little bit of that residual oil on there, so the seasoning clings to it. Now, to add more flavor to it, I also have like a poutine gravy here that I'm gonna pass off with our Franks RedHot Extra Hot. So the Extra Hot is about twice the level of spice versus the original. And, I want to use the Extra Hot on this one because I don't want to dilute the gravy too much. I still want to have it, thick and rich so it coats. So again, if you have people eating on premises, just put the tater tots in, Got some blue cheese here. A little bit of diced celery. Some bacon that I also seasoned with that Franks RedHot dry seasoning. So similar to the bacon that we did a couple weeks ago with the chipotle cinnamon. This is using the Franks RedHot up there. And then just ladle that spiced extra hot RedHot gravy on those tater tots. Couple of green onions to finish off, and I've got a nice twig of celery on there, and this is again perfect comfort dish using RedHot.
And you know what? I here's what I would also do, Chef. And I've never thought of adding Frank's Hot into gravy before, but it's an option to not necessarily get maybe more money in gravy, because I think you got to be careful on gravy on your price points, but it really adds a different experience to a lot of regular dishes as an option of the consumer to have a spicy gravy or a hot flavor gravy or Frank's Hot gravy. However, I really think you got to use that brand in your menu, though. I think why wouldn't you use it if you're buying the product? I would use that brand. There's on commercials all the time, so why not, right? So
yeah,
I think there's a lot of opportunity there, but I think it's an option to create, because we also got to be very careful of creating also not only different items, and innovation's really big right now, but giving that guest experience something to try, to note that you're trying new things in your restaurant and on your takeout menu and all that. I think there's something there, and I can see it on French fries. I can see it on a numerous amount of options. Because people always say, "Would you like gravy with that?" They're trying to sell you gravy, and hopefully they're trying to just create a better experience for you as well. But it really does give you something that's unique that gets their attention, and I really like that idea, though. Really like it.
That's a good point, Jay. And actually, it almost legitimizes gravy a little bit more when you're right. One of those things that people are, it's an add-on they see. But if you have a Frank's gravy, then it's unique, it's special, and it's
you just said it. There's an interest there, so it's not the white noise you always hear when you order something that could have gravy on the side. It's, hey, what do you mean Frank's gravy? Well, you know what? We have a really cool gravy. It's the Franks RedHot Sauce. Chef's created in the back from scratch, and it is amazing. You got to try it. Sure, they throw it on, right? Like I think you nailed it there, Chef. I especially for QSRs where they're constantly plugging gravy into everything. Great opportunity for QSRs as well as for takeout. Brilliant idea.
Yeah, spice gravy.
Frank gravy. I love it.
So another dish that I want to show you here today, and this is really, on trend. We see a lot of vegan, vegetarian dishes happening with cauliflower. Now, what I want to do, it's a cool way of really jazzing up your more traditional cauliflower, is just roast a whole head of cauliflower and that's coated in our Buffalo hot sauce. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip the hat into the sauce, just kind of spin it around a little bit. And this is really, allowing us to add a lot of flavor to it. So that just goes straight onto a tray. Look at that bad boy. And, you can roast this, I would say at about, 350, 400 for about 45 minutes. And, you can just baste it with some more sauce like every 10, 20 minutes.
No way.
So I'm going out to get a cauliflower.
When it's done, it should look something, like this. And this is really, a shared, entree that can be, shared with like 2 or 3 people at the table. So what we're going to do is, like, we have a takeout option, and we have kind of a dine-in option. right? So basically, for the dining option, we're going to cut it into a couple of slices, take out, and go into
Great idea.
And cauliflower is so trending right now anyway, Jay. It's everywhere.
Oh, it is. It's huge.
And
the
Brussels
interesting part is that your price point on cauliflower that you can put on your menu is really, really good. And it's attracting the millennials, Gen Z. Now, the thing on this that I had to show you last week, one of the things you want to do with these kind of menu applications when you get into plant-based is you can also add in some things that makes it a functional meal. So get your vitamin, whatever cauliflower vitamins you get from cauliflower or fiber, you can put that in your description. And it actually will attract more people, especially in today's world, that we're looking for functional foods that does stuff for us. You can add that in there and it will elevate your price point. Plus, more people will order items that indicate something functional to your body than they will non-functional foods. And that is a brilliant idea there, Chef. Love it.
So
I'm actually going to do it this weekend.
Looking at finished dish there. So again, that would be more for like eating on premises. Similar as with some of the other dishes, like you could easily convert this into a takeout option. Again, all of the garnishes would be served, packaged individually, served on the side.
So here's another idea I do too with that is, see, look at that. That's wicked. But here also, so if you order something else, why wouldn't you put a recipe card of another dish that they can order from you next time?
Yeah, that's
right?
a good point.
And put it on it, grab this next order or buy this from us next time and have a picture of it, a couple key points of it. Use that Franks RedHot Sauce brand again, put the logo on there, done. Like, and how many
That's a
people
great
would
idea.
you know what? Order this next time, right? You're putting teasers in there.
Yeah, ensuring future sales is so important, Jay, and you're dead on. I mean, that's something that is going to, it seems innocuous today, but it's going to keep customers dialing your number in the future or punching the keys on their iPad because you have to give people a reminder. Simple as that. There's just so much noise out there. And I love that. I mean, your whole point of like sticking it on your fridge and knowing where you're gonna order from next week. Good idea.
Yeah, like I think there's a lot of opportunities there because this is something, and that's why we're dedicating this week to takeout and delivery in ghost kitchens. Is as we see shutdowns in some of these regions, and we've also know that patios are closing and winter's here, and people are going to maybe it's not shut down, but they'll probably do a lot more takeout and delivery. We're indicating the numbers are looking like it. That we need to look at differentiating yourself then from the competition and doing these special little things. This is, I was thinking about this on the weekend. This is the new guest experience, is these things. And I remember doing presentations many, many, many times this past year, before COVID, talking about increasing your guest experiences. Like as a server would come up and them doing special things was a lost art in the last 19, 15 years, right? Like we didn't see that as much because then I dined out all across Canada for the last couple of years and you'd go into a place where they would do just something special. We used to talk about the handshake, right? Manager would come up and handshake and just thank you for coming in the restaurant. We'd be talking about that for weeks and months and years later that this manager came up and shook my hand and thanked me. That used to be a normal practice, and then that went away through the 90s and stuff and into the early 2000s. Well, we were talking about how do you create that guest experience. I believe today your guest experience and creating something different is doing these small little things like we're talking about, but also the food and changing your food up all the time creates that interest level and that fear of missing out, the FOMO, of fearing what you're bringing in this time. And I can't stress the competitiveness is immense because now we can check 100 restaurants in less than a minute on my thumb in third-party apps, right? So you got to create these little different things like this. And I love it. Great ideas, though. Sorry I had to ramble on there, but
that was a good one.
This is the new experience. This is our
That's totally fine, right? In the meantime, while you were talking about this, I actually created my signature Dan Noodles. So really, a lot of ethnic inspired flavors in here. And what I've done, so for those of you that know, like Dan, very popular spicy noodle dish from the Sichuan region. What I've done is I've used a ratio of 1-to-1 stinging honey garlic sauce and Frank's RedHot buffalo sauce. Then I added a quarter cup of peanut butter to the sauce and stirred that all up. So this is my spicy Dan sauce. Now, if your establishment is peanut free, feel free to use tahini instead of peanut butter. This sauce gets tossed over Hokkien noodles, which are like a thick yellow noodle. We finished it off with some sauteed vegetables. We used a little bit of ground pork on there. You can use ground chicken, you can use shrimp, you can keep it vegetarian, and then just garnish with a little bit of sesame seeds, green onions, and fresh cilantro. Now, if you're offering this dish as a takeout option, again, very easy. Just put the noodles on the side, and then keep all of your garnishes separate. And as soon as the consumer comes home, they can reassemble this, and this would be a perfect entree for like 3-4 people.
Love it, chef. Love it. I got so many ideas. My head's vibrating. Sorry. I'm gonna start a good nap.
Chef, you're not letting us down, Chef. You're making a drink again today.
I mean, that is just that I really wanted to share with you here today is that spice in cocktails, like savory elements into our traditional handcrafted cocktails are starting to become very popular. So what we're doing here today is we're going to build a spiced chocolate martini. So chocolate martini is very rich, very flavorful, perfect, for those fall winter nights. And then, the Franks RedHot just kind of gives it a little bit of that burn to it. So what I've got is about an ounce of vodka, about an ounce of, chocolate liqueur, and then I'm taking 2 ounces of Bailey's. Gonna just add a splash of Frank's RedHot sauce to that. There you go. Shake that up. And that is your spiced cocktail. Now, there we go. If you're serving this cocktail inside on premises, you can just add the hot sauce on the side in a little pipette. And this is actually pretty cool. What we're seeing now is like cocktails to go. So what I've done is I've taken these little mason jars. I know there's a cost associated with it, but people are willing to pay for that because they get to keep these and use it at home themselves. So one little mason jar holds your alcoholic ingredients. You can include another mason jar with the ice, and then just a little packet of Frank's RedHot sauce. I'll throw in a couple of those pipettes, right, so that the consumer can really assemble their cocktail when they're back at home.
Now, I believe the best Caesars are made with Frank's RedHot sauce.
Well done, Jay.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Like,
why wouldn't Canada's cocktail be with Canada's #1 hot sauce? Makes sense to me.
Exactly, right? Like, and I challenge anyone to try it because there's nothing wrong with the other stuff. But Frank's it's like, even if you use Buffalo, I've used Buffalo Frank's because of that butter flavor. Like, nothing's better than butter in a Caesar. Like, I hate to say it. It is. I challenge you to try that, and then use peppered vodka. Don't use regular vodka. Use peppered vodka, and then
or even try gin.
Or gin.
Yeah, gin goes well with Frank's.
It does. And the other thing also is I recommend people shaking their Caesars. It makes a massive difference.
Yeah, Sure.
opposed to just throwing in there with the Franks or the buffalo sauce. It just makes us such a great Caesar. Why I ran a Martini lounge. I know my drinks quite well.
There you go.
So that's Frank's was the best.
Ice cream chef.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to finish today's session on a high note and really showcase that we actually do put that deep on everything. So what I've made is some Frank's RedHot buffalo ice cream and some Frank's RedHot buffalo sorbet. So obviously, you know, we're just taking this product and bringing it up to the next level. For the ice cream, just made a little bit of a vanilla base and then added some of the Frank's RedHot original to it. This goes into the freezer, just stir it, and you know it's good to go. The sorbet is just straight up Frank's RedHot buffalo sandwich sauce. Again, you know, just straight into the freezer, and you can spin it if you have a Pack-O-Jet or an ice cream maker, whatever works. And then we're topping this off with some candied bacon. So this would, you know, be kind of your in-house version. If you're focusing on takeout, I've got these little, you know, mason jars again. So perfect. Just prep that in a fence. Put a scoop of ice cream in there. A couple, you know, crumbles of Frank's RedHot candied bacon, and you know, this is perfect for takeout.
Love it.
That is unique. That is unique and delicious, I bet.
Yeah. We had a sample of it this morning here, and
It would be amazing to have like just a whole Frank's themed dinner from appetizer to cocktail, like many courses, and finishing off with that at the end would be something else.
You know what? That's actually a really cool idea, Tim, because, and this is another thing that we talked about last week on one of our shows, is the fact that you can, so as you create your takeout or your third party or your ghost kitchens and stuff, as you flip these different things, like I was saying earlier, is changing up your menu and switching it up almost like you're doing a different menu or an excitement, or you're doing a week of Frank's Hot featured items on your menu and on your third party menu. Leverage those brands. I cannot stress that enough, but that really creates that you're unique and different. And to a point, there's restaurants now that are flipping their brand model, so their the name of their ghost kitchen every few weeks, because millennials that is technically who you should be targeting. That's 65% of the population, and they dine out more than anyone, and they take out more than anyone. They'll flip and try new things all the time. So if you constantly are rolling out new items or new brands and new different things like a Frank's RedHot week, they're more likely to check in order from you all the time. And I promise you, it will give you something different than anyone else with very little effort on your back, on your chefs. It also, I think, from a chef, and chef, maybe you can comment here too, is the more that you do that, it inspires the chefs to try different things and to experiment and to innovate. If you as an owner go to your chef and say, hey, we're doing a whole week on Frank's RedHot, what ideas do you want to come up with? Well, boom, they're the creativeness. And that attracts people too, is when the chefs are excited about cooking in your restaurant, doing takeout, doing in-room dining. But it's such a great thing, I think, to encourage your own staff to be innovative like that. And then as you plan forward, what are you doing for November, first week in November? Opposed to the month themes, I think you need to shorten those up in today's world. We're looking, like, as we see more and more takeout, I think we need to flip ideas faster and I think you're seeing that in the QSR world more. They're flipping ideas faster than ever. And I think we can do that as restaurateurs as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, well said. I mean, you know, we have a whole bank of different recipes online that, you know, chefs can go to draw inspiration from. But, you know, like you said before, it's always best, you know, to kind of play around and come up with some funky, cool ideas yourself, right? So if you have a signature dish, but you just want to, elevate it, add, some spice to it, use one of the Franks RedHot products, whether it's the liquid one or whether it's the dry seasoning to really, boost it up.
Yeah, really,
So,
really great idea.
And we can get samples out. So contact your local Sysco rep. We can get samples out to your operators. Not a problem. That dry Frank's format is really cool, and I think that it's one of those things that people probably forget about sometimes. But the application and what you can do with that dry format is insane. So, like we say, check out Clubhouse for Chefs. It's right there on the ticker. You're going to find a ton of stuff that chefs already worked on and loaded in there. For Frank's, there's a ton of sales support. And then, and if you're looking for something that you can't find there, reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, both of you, Chef, Tim. Brilliant ideas today to bring that value and to increase the value for your takeout, for your third party, to give something different. A lot of great ideas today, and that's what we need moving forward. And why not rewrite the restaurant industry's book, I guess? I don't know if there is a book on the industry. I'm sure there is, but there's nothing that cannot be changed and shifted as we go into the new world today and to try different things. And, great ideas today, though. Thank you so much, Joe.
Sign up for the newsletter.
Best of luck.
Yeah, exactly.
There's out there.
Awesome. Well, thanks again to everyone else. We'll be back this afternoon on how to pivot your restaurant to 3 different revenue streams as we go into closures and into the fall and winter. Is that we're going to have our marketing experts on the call this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern time to talk about what you can do to generate extra revenue in your restaurant this fall and winter. And then tonight we have Barry Schuster in from Menu Magazine. He's on our show tonight, and he'll be talking about very similar ideas around ghost kitchen, virtual kitchens, and what you need to do to change your restaurant into that if you're seeing you're having to close down your in-room dining. And then tomorrow we have 2 more shows tomorrow. We also have Beyond Meat coming tomorrow night, 8 p.m., late night show. And then tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., I'll go backwards there, with Saputo. And Chef Steve McGooey is back on the show again, showing some great ideas. So, and then we're done for the week, and then we'll be back next week with more shows. So thanks again, gentlemen. To everyone else, get out there, support your restaurants, eat out, dine out, take out, whatever it takes. Eat out, though. All right. Thanks so much, guys. And we will see everyone soon. Thank you.